Hello everyone, this is Tammy from Tammy Colors 2, and I'm going to do a coloring chat. Some people said they wanted to see me color out of RJ Hampson's Oceans coloring book. So I picked, oops, too far, this page, Water Cages, and I kind of came up with a plan. I think this is going to be mixed media. I'm going to use some watercolor, maybe some watercolor pencil, we'll see, and some Prismacolors. I'm disappointed because I wanted to use, I don't know, one of my other sets of pencils, but I'll get to that. Why I'm using my Prismacolors. I love my Prismacolors, don't get me wrong. So I'm going to start in this corner, and I'm going to go this way. And my plan is for all the pipes and the metal work to be like a bronze. I basically pulled out all my metal colors. So bronze, steel, silver, gold, and we'll see where I want to add those colors. This may be ambitious because I don't usually color pages this busy, but I think it could be really cool, and I need to experiment. I need to use my stuff. So I think my plan is to make the squid iridescent. It's going to be like an iridescent purple and green, and then we'll have water inside the cage, and we won't worry about the fact that there's water outside, because clearly there's fish and octopi and stuff like that. But it has a black background, so we're just going to leave that, and then my plan is to make all of the fish stand out and then everything else to be like a metal color. So should be cool. We'll see. Depends on if Tammy can get away from her rainbow bright, having to use every color of the rainbow in every picture. So one of my challenges for myself is to do a monotone picture, which will be nearly impossible for me to do, but I can do it. Not doing it with this one because I can see this. So I have my pencils pulled out. I wrote down color combinations in my combination book for metal, non-metallic metal. And I have some Tikuan in a kitty cup. You can see it kind of comes up here, the little ears. It has like little ears that come up in the ridge. So, here we go. And I don't know, I have to decide what colors I want things to be, but I think I'm going to start with, the big cage. And then other things can be, other pipes could be like different colors, but so I'm going to use like a bronze or brass or something like that. So let's see, is this color supposed to be in there? No, that color is not supposed to be. All right, so let's hope I can do this. We'll start back in the corner, and I need to kind of, I should have done this ahead of time. Fold this out. There we go. That's better. All right. Now the question is, should the hoses just be like, you know, they're obviously cables. Well, I'll not do those at the moment. I gotta figure out what color I need these cables to be, which I didn't think about that. I mean, they could just be like a generic brown color. That's interesting. I was too focused on the metal and then forgot about the things that are like actual cables. And I don't want to make them black. So let's hope that I can do this. It's been a while, and Tammy is not good at leaving white space. So we are going to practice leaving our white space on here. And we'll see if we can make this look pretty. Let me just get my first one done. I'm not a professional. I do kind of want a color to blend it all together, and she didn't provide that color. So we have a 1099, a 1082, a 1033, and a 102. Because we're making bronze. So we'll see. I mean, it should actually, I should do this, you know, so that I'm not like zoomed out on the whole page. Sorry about that. Oh, and I let it shake. So now to tell you all about, so I said I had to use my Prismacolor pencils. Well, so the story there is I went to spend 3 days with my parents because I can work from home. So I've been trying to go down and spend time with my parents. Like, they only live an hour away, but, you know, it's still far enough that we don't, you know, you can't just run over to their house in the evening. So I've been trying to go down and, you know, help them, hang out with them, because I really wish that I could go over or just call and say, hey, I'm making dinner tonight. Do you want to come over? Or, you know, them to do the same thing. But, you know, it is what it is. So I'm sure I'm very lucky that other people probably live a lot farther away from their parents, and I get to see mine a lot more. But, so I went to stay with them, and my mom and her friend, one of her high school friends, they get together and color, and they are sort of new to the hobby. And so her friend, my mom's friend, wanted to come over, and I wanted to get together and color with them because I thought that would be cool. And I'm not doing this right, but we'll fix it. You know, live and learn. I gotta go out farther. If I'm gonna use this many colors, I gotta leave a little less white space. So I went down there and I took like a whole bunch of my stuff, like a trunk full of coloring stuff, because she wanted to see like all the stuff that I have, my watercolors and my markers and pencils, and she had all these questions. And so I tried to answer as many as I could, and I took all my swatch books with me. And well, long story short, everything came home with me except my colored pencil swatch book and my marker swatch book. So I left them laying down there, and Mom and Dad have to come up for a doctor's appointment tomorrow. So if I can get these colors blended out, that'll actually look really good. I just keep wanting to add like a little, I don't know, cream or something to blend that together. It's like, see, it's my, I can't leave white space. Like, it can't happen. And in this case, I think maybe it's not warranted, because pipe is colored all around. But I think this will be really neat. Okay, liking it so far. Just got to blend it a little more. So, you know, that was fun. I had a good time with my parents, and I got to play with all the kittens and all that. And we had a good time. My husband stays home and takes care of our cats and works and stuff. And so, other than that, I don't know if I told y'all this, but like, right before Christmas. So I spent all summer with gastritis, and I've finally gotten that healed up. So if I hadn't given you an update on that, it's finally healed. I'm still being careful about what I eat, and she basically told me that, you know, I don't really need to take the omeprazole, because that was my goal, like to not have to take something on a regular basis. And so that's where we're at. I mean, and I still belch some depending on what I'm eating, and I'm still careful. Like, I still haven't gotten really back to drinking wine or alcohol, because those are some of the things that can seriously irritate it, so you have to be careful. But I am no longer taking omeprazole on a daily basis, which is good. And she said maybe just take it whenever I feel like I need it. So that's going to be a kind of a, you know, trying to figure out when I feel like I need it. I don't know, what do you think? Does this look like a bronzy color or what? Kind of neat. I'm not going to spend this long on every pipe. Once I get my colors worked out, we'll be good. So I'm excited so far. But anyway, so right before Christmas, and I have, to give you a little backstory, I have been in at least 3 car accidents in my life. The first of which was when I was 7. A drunk driver rear-ended us. And then in 2002 and in 2003. I totaled 2 cars in 2 years. And actually it wasn't, none of them were my fault. But anyway, so because of the car accidents, I have problems with the muscles in my shoulders. I have, but I hadn't had any trouble for a long time. I mean, it was better. I had gone to a chiropractor. He helped me out. Things were great. So, you know, and then for the last, but I still need to go like every, you know, I need to at least go a couple times a year for maintenance. And the pandemic happened, and I bet I haven't been to a chiropractor in, what, 3 years, 2.5 years probably. And so I am a mess. So like I would go, I need to go back to the chiropractor, and then I would just not go, because I'm all about not leaving my house unless I have to. I'll just zoom in a little bit more. And so oh, and this is Amazon printed paper. If you didn't know, it's got the black backing. And someone had asked me if because of the black backing it makes your picture look gray, which I don't feel that it does, but I felt like, you know, people watching me color on it would kind of answer that question. Anyway, so I decided to, I kept saying, oh, I need to go to the chiropractor, and then I wouldn't go. And the chiropractor that I was going to was actually in the parking lot. The building was in the parking lot of my office building, which of course I don't go to anymore. And and for me, it's like, oh, I need to find a new one, or I need to just drive the half an hour to go over there. And anyway, I actually made the appointment when I went to see another doctor, and I found out that the place I go to has a chiropractor. So I made the appointment, and right before I went, like 2 weeks, I had it for a little while, And like 2 weeks before I went, and this was like right before Christmas, the muscle in my shoulder, like the one, it connects the base of your skull, like that big knot, like right past your ear that goes down to your shoulder, that muscle just tensed up and started hurting. And I couldn't get it to stop. And when I would turn left, you know, like you look over your shoulder to look in your blind spot, it would catch. And I mean, it hurt. And so I'm like, this can't keep happening. So I went to see him, and he said that, you know, there wasn't really anything I could take. I mean, I'm sure a doctor could give me muscle relaxers and stuff, but I don't like doing that unless I have to. I've been on them before, like when this first started, and I didn't like the way they made me feel. And as a matter of fact, I think he gave me something that is like mild stuff, like what they start you off with. It was called Flexeril. And it was, I took a whole one the first time, and I'm like, you could cut my arm off and I wouldn't care. And it was like, whoa. So from then on, I would at least break them in half. And I wouldn't take them very often, only when I needed my muscle to relax enough for a while. And I would only have to take like one every other month or something. It would get so bad. But eventually I started having trouble, you know, and I'm like, I gotta find a solution to this. And that's when my friend suggested I see a chiropractor, and he fixed me with the problems I was having. So, but anyway, so this chiropractor says that it will loosen up. I mean, my brain has been going from, oh my God, I have some kind of cancer, you know, because it's weird that it just won't stop. But then again, you know, if you sit at your desk and you don't have good posture, and I try, and I don't get up from my desk enough. So he says that I've been going to him for about 3 weeks now. And he said that he says I'm adjusting much easier. My muscles are loosening up. And he told me to do yoga. And he's like the third doctor. When I was going through gastritis, they suggested that I do yoga to really, you know, relax, to relax yourself. So, and 3 doctors recommended Yoga with Adriene on YouTube. And I can put her channel in the description if you've never heard of her. And she's really good because she's for beginners. She's for beginners and experienced people. But she's just really good, and she's relaxing, and she has her dog that sits there, Benji. And I really like it. And I will tell you, if you have never done yoga, you will find out exactly how weak you are. I mean, you're not doing anything that's high impact. It's all just like stretching and, you know, really slow, you know, movements. I'm sure most of you know what yoga is, but it's like, I had no clue. I mean, it feels better, but then my muscles are all sore because I am so out of shape. And I've been trying to go for walks more, but it's hard to go for walks when the weather is like, you know, 15 degrees outside. So that's what I've been dealing with. And finally, like this week, it's starting to feel better. I'm doing my yoga every day. That's looking neat. I love this bronze color. So if you want to know, I'm going to add this because I don't think this one's on there, 914. If you want to know the color combination I'm using, I'm not really using the black, but I could put a little black in there. If you don't see people use black. I like using black sometimes, but it does take practice to learn how to use it. You have to be very ginger with it. but I think it is useful depending on what you're trying to accomplish, to use a little black to add a little dark shading. But a lot of times when you're doing colors, different colors, there's a dark color that is good enough to use in place of black that's more like all the colors you're using. But in this case, I think the black works. I think we need to probably add a little shadow here. Maybe. Let's do that with an espresso. But anyway, I was going to tell you what colors I was using. So I am using a combination of, this is the bronze, so it's Prismacolor 935, 1099, 1082, 1033, 1002, and I'm using 914, which the cream color, to blend it all together, and that's working. I really like that. Or you can just leave white space if you want. But I'm just, the way that my brain works, I do better with being able to blend the colors together in somehow with some kind of a pencil. So awesome. This is looking great. So we'll do this pipe here. I'm going to try to do all the pipes coming in and then do the ball. And you know, it's taken me a long time to get to the point where I can do a picture that's busy like this, because I used to look at it and just get overwhelmed, and I'd be like, oh my God, I need to put my pencils up here. I keep laying them off to the side and they keep getting lost. Obviously my chocolate is well loved because it's about 3 inches long. I need to put a pencil extender on it. Let's see, we'll do this one. I need to start coloring these faster. We won't get very far. But I figure this will just be like my color and chat picture for a while, and we can just work on it together. I'll try to do it at least once a week until we finish it. I'm hoping I can get faster at it. Maybe you. Oh, yeah, that'll be fine. I forgot to color that part there. And this part here. So a good approach when you want to color a picture like this is to break it up into pieces. Don't look at the whole thing. Find a part that interests you, or just pick a spot and start there and make it something small. Make it a small picture, and then it's more doable. And also when you start putting colors together, I mean, the less experienced people won't know that it'll probably look worse. It always looks bad to me when I start. I'm like, ooh, these colors don't look right. And then once I get them all blended together, they look good, you know, because it's like, I mean, you know, these are the colors that I'm using, these oranges and these browns. I would never pick those colors to use for a bronze. I mean, look how orange it is. But you know what? When you do it, it looks good. So there you go. That's my sage advice, I guess, for the day. What I'm gonna do with these, I'm gonna make them a little darker. Oops. I'm coloring off the page now, aren't I? Because this one's farther down than I thought. So I figured maybe I would make these about a half an hour or something, but I'm hoping to get this entire ball done at least today. And who knows if I'll have enough stuff to talk about. I have some ideas of things to talk about. Like I said, if there's anything y'all want to know, or anything, you know, anything I've mentioned that I forgot to tell you about, that I said I would tell you about, let me know, because my brain gets all fuddled sometimes. I'm trying to think if there's anything else going on. I'm I'm sure there's lots going on. Today is my husband's and I's month anniversary. It's January 16th. So I had a friend, and this is a really cool idea. I did steal it from someone, but she gave me her permission. I think I told y'all one time that a lot of my friends, especially when I was growing up, were, you know, a lot older than me. I grew up with, you know, friends who were 60, 70 years old. And that's kind of continued because there's a retirement village in my hometown. So, and this is more recent. So there was a lady who was an organist at my church. She has since passed on. She was a lovely, lovely lady. And the interesting part about her life is that her mother used to play the organ for the mob in Chicago, which is kind of cool. But anyway, she told me about her and her husband, when they got married. Every month, on the day that, that day, like my husband and I got married on May 16th, 2009. And so, the 16th of every month is our month anniversary. And she told me that, her husband and she made it kind of a competition to be the first one to wish the other one happy month anniversary on that day. And so one of them would wake up. She said it just kept escalating until it got earlier and earlier. And I mean, they'd been married for 60 years before he died. But it was so funny. But they would get each other little gifts, and they were always trying to surprise each other with something, flowers, or, be the first one to creatively say happy month anniversary to the other one. And it was just such an amazing thing, I'm like, that's really cool. So every month, and I mean, some months we're not like them. I mean, we have lives and we forget, so it's not like every month, but we try to celebrate our marriage and ourselves every month. And so the 16th of every month is our month anniversary. And today is the 16th of January. And so I said, hey, why don't we go pick up some food from our favorite Italian restaurant? So, that's what we're going to go do. You don't have to buy each other diamonds sometimes that would be cool. Who can afford that? I'm sure somebody can. But not me, And also, I love the costume jewelry. Not that I've turned down diamonds or anything, right? But costume jewelry is just so much fun, and it's not necessarily cheap either, but you have a lot more potential with costume jewelry. So I like creative things. It was so neat because for my birthday last year, and this is part of me not being a real girl. I think I've said that before. I'm not a real girl. I grew up not wearing makeup, and I didn't even learn how to put makeup on until I was in college. I didn't have girlfriends that I hung out with and put makeup on, stuff like that. Painted my nails. Nope. As a matter of fact, I would love to have been one of the girls that painted my nails, because that would mean I had great nails and I would be doing it now, and I don't. And it's hard to start when you're this old to learn how to give yourself a manicure, especially since I bit my nails my entire life and I finally stopped. And they look awful right now because I got that gel nail. I went and got a manicure before Thanksgiving, and I got the gel manicure, And I know people told me that you have to, I know how to get it off, and I didn't do it. I didn't want to like put foil and stuff on my fingers for, you know, so many hours. And, you know, that's how they say you have to soak them and try to get it off because it's hard. I mean, it was great stuff. But after I got it, people said, well, you know, that damages your nails too. And I'm like, I didn't think it did. Well, it did. It kind of, you know, they're peeling kind of in certain places. They've grown out a lot now, but because of it, a lot of them broke off. And it's partly because they're thin anyway from me biting them my entire life. And they were really long. But so I've broken so many, but I'm just happy that I don't chew on my nails anymore. And it took me my entire life to get there. I mean, what a long journey that has been. And I don't really know what the secret was. I mean, I had all kinds of plans. I'm like, maybe I should start smoking so I can stop biting my nails so that then I can take one of the treatments to stop smoking. I had like these elaborate plans, right? Because it is. I think stopping biting your fingernails is one of the hardest things to do because there's no, I mean, it's not going to kill you. So there's no treatment for it other than like hypnosis or something. And so it's like, what do? You have to stop. And it's a really hard thing to stop. And even after I stopped, I would still chew on my thumbs. But it took me a couple years to just stop chewing on my thumbs. I kind of stopped for my wedding and let them grow out. And then, I don't know, life, it's like quitting smoking. It really is, because you'll stop and then you'll start again. And then you have to start over. But it's like, if you can really get stopped, you will. Because, I mean, and I will catch myself kind of sticking my finger in my mouth still. But I don't really bite them. And so I just I try not to supplement with food, because that's a bad idea also. All right, we're looking good. I wanted to go back and color this up here. I knew this would take a while doing this with pencils, but I just thought it would look better if I did it with pencil, you know? I don't usually do that with these books. I usually just put some marker on it. But I felt like this one kind of deserved a little bit more than they all do, to be fair. I mean, sometimes I wonder what one of the pictures in my Camellia Angel Cova books would look like if I took some pencil and mixed media to it and just went to town, you know. And on this one, I'm probably going to, like, when I do the squid, I'm going to do him in my new Cosmic Shimmer watercolors, because one of those is like the perfect color for what I want for him. And then I'm going to probably shade it with some pencil. I don't know. I've got to figure out what my plan is with that. I'm going to be really good at coloring bronze by the time this is over with, aren't I? But maybe before I continue with the next one, I'll have time to kind of map out like what color I want some of the other pipes to be. Like maybe I'll take some stickies and mark. And if you have a suggestion, I mean, I'm really open to it. If you have an idea based on what I've told you about what I want my color scheme to be, what color these cables, like electrical cables, should be. I mean, they can be a fun color, but I was trying to make the fish pop. You know what I mean? I want the fish to pop, and I want the metal to be metal. And these, I mean, these cables are not metal. They're just like electrical cords. And I can't make them black because of the black background. I could probably make them gray, but I'm open to suggestion. I may look at some pictures of, you know, like things with electrical cables and things like that, and see if anything jumps out at me to, you know, I don't know. But picking color is literally the most difficult task for me to do. So, let's see, there's that. Do I have 35 minutes? I was trying to keep these kind of short. But maybe I can. Let me see if I have time to do this whole outside rim really quick. I might. We'll do this half and see what happens. It's coming out. It's really, so far. So there's plenty of time for me to do something to completely ruin it. Something, you know. Maybe I shouldn't use the cream, but we'll see. And as the more I go, because I get paralyzed by, I'm sure a lot of people do, but I just get paralyzed by thinking about coloring. And I actually love coloring. I love a lot of my other hobbies too. Like I need to practice some stuff with my trombone also. But I just love coloring. But the problem is like half the time I just get paralyzed sitting there thinking about it. Like, what colors am I going to use? You know, how am I going to do this? How am I going to make it look good? Because I want it to look amazing. Because I see all these pictures and I want it to look as amazing as everyone else's pictures. Like Valerie and, oh, let me tell you, if you haven't checked out Pretty Pages 71, oh my goodness. Anna's pictures are so beautiful. I love, you know, if you ever watch this, Anna, sit down with me online sometime and just picture for picture color with me and teach me how you do what you do, because those are gorgeous. I mean, absolutely freaking gorgeous. And I'm just amazed. I mean, I know that I have the potential. I mean, we all do. And I know also that when you're looking at your own work, I need my dark orange, there it is. When you're looking at your own work, you're very critical of your own. And someone else can look at it and go, oh my God, that's beautiful. And you're like, not really, but thanks. And it's just in the eye of the beholder. Like I always joke with my husband because my husband says I'm beautiful. And I'm like, you know, it's like with color, people see colors differently. So I have this theory that we all see each other differently when we look at each other. And so I keep saying to my husband, I'm like, I wish that you could draw me how you see me, because I'm pretty sure it's not what I see in the mirror. You know, it's got to be something different, because trust me, it ain't that great. Then I sit down and I start working the picture, and it just starts coming together, and I'm not really doing anything. I mean, And the reason I'm not fast with pencil is because I get so intimidated, and then I don't do it. And then, you just gotta do it. You will ruin things. I have ruined things all my life. I'm gonna try to do this whole section right here. And then we'll stop. As soon as I do, I'm just gonna finish this rim. It shouldn't take me very long. I don't even know if I need to put this cream on here, to be honest, but I'm doing it anyway. I just need to, and it actually doesn't have to take that long to color with pencil. It depends on the paper. That's kind of why I like Amazon paper. I know a lot of people don't, but it actually lends itself sometimes. Like some of the nice coloring books, like the paper is so smooth. It's actually, for me, more difficult. And I'm also always trying to use like different pencils because I want to use all of my sets of pencils. I think the next picture I do, I'm going to use my Black Widows again, maybe, because I love those. But I'll have my swatch charts. Oh yeah, so it's like, it's really hard to do this and pick out pick out pencils when you don't have your swatch charts. Like when you're a person like me that swatches everything and that's how you find it. I mean, I guess you're kind of lucky if you're one of the people who doesn't do swatch charts and you just scratch your pencils out, because then you're not screwed like I am, leaving your books somewhere, because I ain't gonna swatch out all my pencils again, So we'll just do this. I'm not even sure that there is a light source. Oh, I need my chocolate. Put a little chocolate in here. And all you do is just layer light to dark. And I'll tell you, I mean, 3 colors is what most people do. And, when you're doing non-metallic metallics, and I have some metallic pencils and I was going to use them. Like I've got the Faber-Castell ones. But I don't know, it wasn't going to give me the look I wanted because the colors weren't right. But I will sometimes use like the metallic pencils because Prismacolor has a metallic pencil, and I'll use it and kind of shade it. Oops, sorry. I'll use it and kind of shade it with a regular pencil, and it looks really nice when I get done. I'll just kind of use this to blend a little bit together. And maybe when I'm sitting here tomorrow, I'll look at it, and if I missed anything or if I think anything looks jinky, I'll, touch it up or something. So I'll have to decide, when I do another color and chat to work on this again, because I'm excited about doing the octopus now. Oops, let's see. I have to remember when I'm zoomed in to make sure I may have to shade that a little bit better. I'll get better at this color and chat stuff. I'm so sorry that I get it out of frame. I think everybody does at some point. Let's see, what have I got left? Just this section right there. And we will have a ball done. Let's see, am I out of frame? I'm trying to think of what's going on this week, if anything. So we played games with people. We had a couple of people over yesterday to play games. That was fun. We played a dungeon crawler called Massive Darkness, which is a lot more ominous sounding than it actually is, but it's one of my favorite dungeon crawlers, I will tell you. Let's let's see, anything else interesting? Because I know, like, not a lot of people are, I don't know, who is into games? Like, I'm sure that there aren't as people are, my situation is unique because my husband makes games for a living and we're both gamers, and so we have a large collection because it's partly work related, if that makes sense. So, you know, more than just a hobby. You know, I'm sure that some of y'all could do better than this, but, you know, I'm kind of happy with it, so. It's fun. All right, so let me just bring this all together. You don't have to press very hard on this Amazon paper either. I need to kind of get myself a little bit more out here. There we go. Some of my color wasn't. It's a living, you know, you live and you learn. You just kind of do things, and pencil is a lot more forgiving than marker, although, you know, we've all worked out ways to correct marker when it goes wrong, haven't we? So, oops, I forgot this one up here. So we'll do that, and then I'm gonna go get some dinner. So yeah, for like tonight, I feel like I start stories and then I get off on a tangent, so I've got to learn how to stop that. So yeah, we're going to our favorite restaurant, picking up food for our month anniversary, and probably watching a movie. I forget what movie it is that we're watching. We got one from Netflix because I still get DVD discs from Netflix. I think it's Harry Brown, because we have, like, there's a lot of movies that we've never watched that are kind of on our list, and I'll be like, why is that one on the list? And it's like, oh, because we liked this actor or something, you know. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of blend that together a little bit, and then while I'm off camera, I'll see if I made any boo-boos or want to blend it a little better. But I think it's, you know, I think it's coming together. It at least looks like bronze, doesn't it? Kind of cool, huh? All right, so that's all I'm going to do for today. We can get a little bit farther. Well, I'll try to map out maybe what colors I want the rest of this to be. And since I have a plan and I know what I'm doing more now, maybe I can get more colored and I can make them like a half an hour and not too long, and I can think of things to talk about. Anyway, if you have any questions or you like what I'm doing, let me know in the comments. And I will see you in the next color and chat. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.